is the voice in the wilderness of the people coming to you in the great wind. This is the day that EZER has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I pray that EZER has kept you in good health, with great strength, has protected you from all danger, from all accidents, and from all iniquity. And you have continued to call out to him and sing his praise and give him thanks for everything. Praise EZER, praise EZER, praise EZER Almighty, praise EZER. Greetings to all, and welcome to the words of EZER. To who will hear, please hear. These instructions and warnings EZER has given to us concerning our heart, our soul, and our strength. So for us to be obedient to this commandment, we must first know which part of our being is our heart, which part is our soul, and which part is our strength. According to EZER's word to us, for EZER has commanded us to love him with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our strength. In Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 5, we with all, not with some of, it's with our whole being. The soul of a man is his body. The heart of a man is the life force, the spirit in him. The strength of a man is the senses that are in him, his will and determination to do. As a people, we must accept that we were taught lies in every aspect of our lives, and the teaching that our soul is the spirit is just one of the number of lies. EZER has made us in his image and in his likeness, and has never commanded us to change our souls. But the spirit should be changed from a wicked state to a righteous state, and for we as a people to accomplish wisdom and comprehension, and to know the difference, as it was told to us by the prophet Hosea in Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. EZER's people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because we reject knowledge, EZER rejected us. Our soul is to carry out the assignments and commandments given to us by the Spirit of EZER with the strength EZER has given to us. For without the Spirit, life and strength, the soul is dead. The work of the soul is different to the work of the heart and the work of the strength. To know the ways of EZER, we must know the difference between the abilities and the means that EZER has given us to do his commandments. For the spirit can possess the soul, and both the wicked and the righteous need strength to do what they do. In Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 9 to 10, we are told that the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Only EZER searches the heart of men. He is the father of spirits. Man has become wicked, as we see in Genesis chapter 6 verse 5. EZER saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of man heart is only evil continually. EZER promised us in the book of Ezekiah chapter 36, verse 26. And I will give you a new heart, a new spirit. I will put within you, and I will remove the heart of stone from your body, and give you a heart of flesh, a soft spirit that will work for you, that will seek I and his instructions to you. Isaiah 64, verse 6, Proverbs 4 and 23, Genesis 8 and 21, Psalm 51, verse 10. Please read, my brothers and sisters. A heart with love, kindness, peace, empathy, sympathy, good judgment, righteousness are all attributes of a soft heart. Hate, underkindness, warlike, lack of empathy, crudeness, wickedness are all attributes of a hard heart. Our souls work according to the ways of our heart that is in us. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 53, verse 6, it states, all of us like sheep have gone astray. We have turned each one to his own way. In the book of Jeremiah, Isaiah is saying to us how he will heal us. He says, the days are coming, declares Isaiah, when he will make a new covenant with the people of Israel and the people of EZER-IAH. It will not be like the covenant he made with our ancestors when he took them out of Egypt, because they broke this covenant. Though he was a husband to them, caretaker, declares Isaiah, this is the covenant he will make with the people of Israel. After that time, Isaiah will put his law in them and will write it on their hearts. Isaiah will be our Redeemer, and we will be his people. My people, Isaiah is not writing his law on any stone or on any stony heart or on any disobedient spirit that refused to obey Isaiah, the Father of spirits, that lives forever. The soul have to seek Isaiah by calling out to him with the spirit, the words, with all our strength, our will and determination. The abilities given to us by Isaiah, by singing, praying, praising, rejoicing, with thanksgiving, with the lifting up of our hands and our hearts, our voices, with the sound of musical instruments, and our empty hands as an offering of ourselves, freeing our hands from all our labors and allowing the action of our souls, the songs of our mouth and of our music, the work of our hands, the sound of the Spirit, doing this with all our strength, our will, determination, zeal, energy, going up unto Isaiah, our Redeemer. This is what Isaiah commands us to do. And we have to do this to him and to him alone. It's not just to know his name and for us to say we are Israelites and that we are awakened. We are to know why Isaiah gave us his name, his Ayah gave us his name before the commandments before the land, and the promises is to come to us when we become obedient unto him and call on him. So while we are calling on him and doing his commandments, then we will receive his promises, for which we are to be obedient to all his instructions to us. We are to serve him and honor him with all our hearts, our soul, and our strength, by giving him thanks, rejoicing and being glad before him all our lives. Our enemies know that we are to call and praise Ayah by his name. So they gave us new useless names and teaches us to praise those useless names in order for they to rule over us. Those new names will do no good for us. My people, we have been doing this for over 400 years, and nothing has changed for the better for us. As Ayah promised us, his new covenant will be the renewing of our hearts. Ayah is not saying anything to us about anyone coming and dying for us. Funniest of all, will the slave master give his life for you, the slave? It is the same law that was given to our fathers. Ayah is saying he will write on our hearts and will cause us to turn unto him and love him with our whole heart, our whole soul, and with all our strength, our will and determination. We must also know that when we read the book of the law, that's from Genesis to Malachi, you are reading the words of Ayah. When you read the New Testament, you are reading the words of men. Ayah have not spoken in this new book that they have given to the people of EZER-IAH, a new book that teaches a new doctrine about a new and strange Redeemer. They all are new to us, the children of EZER-IAH. Our fathers have not known them. We must remember Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 2 that says, "You shall not add to the word that I am commanding you, neither shall you take away from it, that you may keep the commandments of Ayah your Redeemer that I give you." They have added a whole new book, and in their book they have given all these new names to our people. Hear the prophet Zechariah in chapter 1 verse 3. "Therefore tell the people, this is what Ayah Almighty says. Return to me, declares Ayah Almighty, and I will return to you, says Ayah Almighty. As was said to us in Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 28. There they will make you worship gods made of wood and stone, the work of human hands, that neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell." My people, that's what most of us are still doing. We have to clean up, straighten up, start looking up and calling out to Ayah, the Father of spirits. With all that has been said, let us now hear some of the instructions given to us by Ayah through the prophets he sent to us in his name with his words, so that we may know the difference from those Ayah sent to us from those I have not sent. Those I warned us about in Jeremiah chapter 23 from verse 21 to 40. I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesy. But if they had stood in my counsel and had caused my people to hear my words, then they should have turned them from their evil way and from the evil of their doing. EZER is not far from us. All we have to do is call out to him. EZER is not a God. He is EZER. The false prophets are men of God. The true prophets are men of EZER. EZER's prophets came in his name, and the prophets of the GODs are in the name of God. Men of God, as they call themselves even until this day. My people, hear what I am saying to you. Please read the whole chapter. Also read 1 Kings chapter 18 verse 20 to 40, 2 Kings chapter 3, 13 to 15, and listen what the prophet EZER-IAH are saying to you. In Deuteronomy chapter 13 verse 3, EZER is saying to us, EZER is testing you to see if you know the difference between heart and soul, between EZER and GODs. EZER is one, the mighty one, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Holy One of EZER-IAH. He is EZER, our Redeemer and Savior. He is also our King. He is not of the GODs. The one who gave us his name, the one who called us by his name. EZER of hosts is his name. He is one. The GODs are many. Some are made by men's hands. Some are men. Some are demons. Some are fallen angels. Read Psalm 115 verse 4. In Deuteronomy chapter 13 verse 6 to 10, if your brother, the son of your mother, or your son, or your daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your friend that is like you, entice you secretly, saying, let us go and serve GODs that you have not known, nor your fathers have not known. Please pause this video and read the whole chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 6. Be strong, be not afraid, for EZER will not fail you, nor forsake you. Call on him. No gold cross on your neck will save you, nor charm in your purse or in your pocket will save you. No GOD will save you, no matter what name you give to them. Only EZER, the one and only one, whose name alone is EZER. Psalm 83 verse 18. You, EZER, alone is EZER. Isaiah 43 verse 11. Yes, I am EZER, and there is no Savior but EZER-IAH, me. EZER is the sovereign king over all the earth. In 1 Samuel, we read, "Do not be afraid," Samuel replied. "You have done all this evil. Yet do not turn away from EZER, but serve EZER with all your heart. Do not turn away after useless idols. They can do you no good, nor can they rescue you because they are useless. For the sake of his great name, EZER will not reject his people, because EZER was pleased to make you his own. As for me, far be it from me that I shall sin against EZER by failing to pray for you. And I will teach you the way that is good and right. But be sure to love EZER and serve him faithfully with all your heart. Consider what great things he has done for you. Be not afraid, my people. My people, this word fear was put in our book. EZER has commanded us to love him and serve him. Since our people began to fear EZER, they have gone further and further away from him. We must love EZER always with our whole heart, whole soul, and with all our strength. In all we do, in all we speak, in all we look at, in all our thoughts, in all we eat, the places we go, the people we associate with, the clothes we wear, in everything in heart and soul and in strength. We must learn to love and to do all that EZER asks of us. For this is the promise our fathers made with EZER on our behalf. EZER, our Redeemer, requires of us and our children to love him and to respect one another, and must reject our enemies who teaches us to be afraid. We are not to be afraid of someone to serve them. That's the teaching of our enemies, who say to us we must love our masters while our master is brutalizing us. We as a people must love our mighty one, EZER. We must be before him, loving him and serving him with rejoicing and loving one another in his sight. For he is good to us, and let no one make us afraid of him. Now look at this in Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. And now, EZER-IAH, what does EZER, our Redeemer, ask of us? But to fear EZER, your Redeemer, to walk in his obedience to him, to love him, to serve EZER, your Redeemer, with all your heart and with all your soul, and to observe EZER commandments and decrees that EZER have sent to you for your good. Now, why would EZER tell us to fear him, and in the same breath say to us, walk in obedience, and then say to us for we to walk in obedience and for us to serve him with all our hearts and with all our soul? We must love him. My people, do you love someone because you're afraid of them? For love conquers all emotions. Fear does not. Love and fear is as day and night, as light and darkness. They cannot exist together. And it's for that reason IAH commands us to fear not. For the spirit of fear will cause us to stumble and fall. The enemy know this very well. They know our history and how we can be lied to. Remember, they did not want us to learn to read their language. Please read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 20. When they have destroyed us, then they gave us their new book and teach us to read it. The New Testament, and that was the final nail to complete our coffin. By this New Testament, we were completely destroyed. Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 13. So if you faithfully obey the commands I am giving you today, to love IAH your Redeemer and serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. Please read the whole chapter. Joshua 22, verse 5. Only be careful to observe the commandments and the law that Shemaiah, the servant of IAH, command you. Love IAH your Redeemer and follow him in all his ways. Keep his commandments, hold fast to him, and serve him with your whole heart and your whole soul. No part of you should be left to serve anyone else, my people. In 1 Chronicles chapter 28, verse 9. And you, EZER-IAH, my son, know the mighty one of your father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind. For IAH search all the hearts and comprehends all the imagination of the thoughts. If you seek him, he will be found by you. But if you forsake him, he will cast you off forever. If you go to others, IAH will forsake you. My people, that's what we as a people have done. Our people have gone to a phantom of GODs and LORDs and JC and the Jehovah and the Yahweh and the etc., etc. All are from the nations whom IAH warned us about, the hidden nations. Psalm 86, verse 11. Teach me your way, IAH, make me to walk in your truth. Unite my heart to love your name. Not to fear, but to love. Jeremiah 29, verse 13. You will seek me and you will find me when you seek me with your whole heart. That's what we are told to do. Seek IAH, my people. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19. This day I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both you and your seed may live. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 10. If you obey IAH your Redeemer and do his commandments and decrees that are written in this book of the law, and turn to EZER, your Redeemer, with all your heart and with all your soul. We have to remove all the lust, the rage, the arrogance, the covetousness, the hate, all the rest of the negative ways from ourselves. We must be careful with the words we speak, the things we do, the things we listen to, the things we look at, the places we go, the people we associate with, things we eat, the things we wear, the names we call on when we pray, who we pray to, where do we go to pray. And we need to clean up ourselves, my people. 1 Samuel chapter 7 verse 3. Then Samuel addressed the whole house of EZER-IAH and said, if you will return to EZER with your whole heart, remove your foreign gods and your Ashtoreth. Fix your heart on EZER and serve him alone. Then EZER will deliver you from the hands of the Philistines, from your enemies, from whom our people took all these gods unto themselves. They took it from the enemies. Psalm 138 verse 1. I will praise you, EZER, with all my heart before you, before the gods. I will sing your praise. I will bow down towards your holy temple and will praise you by your name, for your love and your faithfulness. For you have exalted above all things your name and your words. Listen, my people. Psalm 119 verse 58. I have sought your face with all my heart. Be gracious to me according to your promise. EZER instructed us in the book of Numbers chapter 6 verse 22 to 27. And EZER speak unto Shemaiah, saying, speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, the priest in the house of EZER. Say, this is how you shall ask for blessings for the children of EZER-IAH. Say unto them, EZER bless you, EZER keep you, EZER make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. EZER lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. And they shall put the name EZER upon the children of EZER-IAH, and EZER will bless them. My people, the name EZER is the name we must have with us if we as a people want to be blessed. Read it again. He is telling you himself, his name, no other name, my people. Deuteronomy chapter 30. Now it shall come to pass, when all these things come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you call them to mind among all the nations where EZER your Redeemer drive you, and you return to EZER your Redeemer, and obey his voice, according to all that I command you today, you and your children, with all your heart, with all your soul, that EZER your Redeemer will bring you back from captivity and have compassion on you, and gather you again from all the nations where EZER your Redeemer has scattered you. Please read the whole chapter. We must return to EZER, my people. In Deuteronomy chapter 26 verse 16, EZER your Redeemer commands you this day to follow these decrees and laws, carefully observe them with all your heart and with all your soul. You have declared this day that EZER is your Redeemer, and that you will walk in obedience to him, that you will keep his decrees, commandments, and laws, that you will listen to him. And EZER has declared this day that you are his people, his treasured possession as he promised, and that you are to keep all his commands. He has declared that he will set you in praise, high esteem, fame, and honor high above all the nations he has made, and that you will be a people holy to EZER, your Redeemer, as he promised. Please read the whole chapter, my people. Our fathers made this agreement with EZER and no one else. He is our mighty one, the mighty one of our fathers, our Redeemer and Savior. Our fathers did not make any agreement with Jesse nor Lucifer or in any of his other names. The name on this agreement is EZER and EZER-IAH. In 2 Kings chapter 23 verse 3, and the king stood by a pillar and made a covenant before EZER to walk after EZER and to keep his commandments and his testimonies and his statutes with all their heart and all their soul, to perform the words of this covenant that were written in the book. And all the people stood to the covenant. All our ancestors accepted the covenant. My people, read the full chapter. Psalm 119 verse 34. Give me comprehension so that I may do your law and obey it with all my heart. Psalm 119 verse 69. The proud have forged a lie against me, but I will keep your precepts with my whole heart. We all have been lied to by all these religions of the world. They all are run by Lucifer and his fallen angels, with their servants, those who are called religious leaders. They all are men from gods, not from EZER, the Holy One. In 1 Kings chapter 15 verse 14, he even deposed his grandmother, Micaiah, from her position as queen mother, because she had made a repulsive image for the worship of Asherah. Asa cut it down and burned it in the Kindred Valley. We have to do the same. We have to break down the idols and destroy them. Please read 2 Kings chapter 23, Nehemiah chapter 4. In the book of Joel chapter 2 verse 12, even now, says our Redeemer, return to me with all your heart, with fasting, with weeping, with mourning. Rend your heart and not your clothing. Return to your Redeemer, who is gracious and merciful, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love, and relents from punishing, in love, not fear. In 1 Kings chapter 2 verse 4, that EZER may continue his word which he spoke concerning me, saying, if your children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth with all their heart and soul, you will never fail to have a successor on the throne of EZER-IAH. My people, Listen. In 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 48. And if they turn to Ai with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, who led them away captive, and pray unto Ai towards their land, that Ai gave to their fathers, the city that Ai chosen, and the house I have built for his name. My dear brothers and sisters, we must do that. We must turn to Ai's land. We must call his name, spread our hands. We must do it. We have to do it. Ai is saying to us, we have to do this. I now give you some scriptures that you may read. You could write them down and read them. You must remember when reading the word of Ai, you must insert his name where the word Lord is. The name Ai is to be inserted. Where the word God is, these titles can be used as needed. Mighty One, Almighty, Redeemer, Savior, Holy One, Most High of Hosts. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 26, verse 13, it reads, Now reform your ways and your actions, and obey Ai, your Redeemer. Then Ai will not bring the disaster he has pronounced against you. Please read the full chapter. In concluding, I say this. Ai's instructions and commandments and laws, words to us, is not for those with short attention span, for they will not comprehend. They are for those who shows the willingness and determination to know them and do them with all their hearts, with all their souls, and with all their strength. May Ai bless you and keep you. May Ai make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May Ai lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace, and will bless you and your children. Please continue calling on him with the name he has given you, the name Ai, with your whole heart, your whole soul, and with all your strength. Praise Ai, praise Ai, praise Ai Almighty.